What if Flameheart won the struggle for the Sea of Thieves? What could the game look like? How would the Sea of Thieves look if Flameheart defeated Athena's Fortune and the Dark Brethren, asserting his dominion? In this tentative series, I'd like to discuss what the story and gameplay would look like if certain scenarios played out differently in Sea of Thieves, since Rare like to marry the gameplay and storyline fairly tightly. In this episode, we're looking at a what-if scenario if Flameheart were to return and squash his enemies. Not so much if he was never defeated in the events of Heart of Fire, but as he would return in the current events. Firstly, how could Flameheart possibly win? His two main rivals, the Pirate Lord and Wanda the Warsmith, both possess abilities to extend their life and some degree of immortality. The Pirate Lord also possesses the Sword of Souls, a conduit of great power that can control people, even ghosts, and manifest powerful memories into being. Wanda holds a staff that allows her to travel between dimensions and evade Flameheart. The Pirate Lord is also a ghost, making him unkillable through normal means, but there are ways around this. Wanda is a Skeleton Lord, but is not known for her physical ability, making her the more vulnerable. While the dice is loaded against Flameheart, he does have some advantages on his side. Flameheart has spent years in the Sea of the Damned planning his return. He's also the most physically powerful out of the three, boasting superhuman strength, nigh on invincible resistance, and the ability to bind souls, including his own, to avoid death. If it came down to single combat with either, Flameheart would be nearly unstoppable, magic items aside. Step 1, and this is something that is going to happen in the game, Flameheart needs to retrieve the Burning Blade from Ramsey. Since it has the ability to control him or even outright kill him, I guess maybe kill Ramsey some more. Flameheart's best bet is sending his loyal Reapers to steal it from the Pirate Lord, since it's too risky to do it himself. A spy of some sort who's already infiltrated Athena's Fortune would be the best option. Once he's retrieved that, he could destroy or enthrall the Pirate Lord. The latter would be the best option since he could obtain the Veil of the Ancients too. Whilst Athena's Fortune would continue to resist him, headed by Belle and Merrick, Flameheart has the power to defeat any ghosts and could defeat the living as is. As Flameheart's influence grew in the past, more and more undead would flock to him since they were not shunned and reduced their risk of being obliterated. This is already occurring again as evidence in the game. Everyone who is not with Flameheart is against him, but only a Skeleton Lord deals in absolutes. The next issue Flameheart faces is the Ferry of the Damned. The Ferry of the Damned allows for pirates to return to the Sea of Thieves for as long as the ferryman sees fit. We know in the past this was weaponized by those who opposed Flameheart, and skeletons were not permitted to board the ferry, which also meant they were not permitted to return from the afterlife. We've seen the Ferry of the Damned as a ferocious ship in its own realm, easily fighting off the Flying Dutchman, with the ferryman himself musing on its home field advantage. So Flameheart will need an even more fierce ship to rival it. Flameheart would have to rebuild the legendary Burning Blade to even stand a chance, but going to the ferryman's domain would be a terrible idea. Since Flameheart has the Veil of the Ancients, he could open up a portal to bring the Ferry of the Damned into the Sea of Thieves. All he would need is a loyal human or spirit to board the ship. Once on, they'd use the Veil to pull the ferry through, with Flameheart and his new Burning Blade awaiting to destroy the Ferry of the Damned. Using the new ship and its cursed cannonballs, the ship would be quickly immobilized and Flameheart would board the ship with the Burning Blade in hand, defeating the ferryman and removing the Ferry of the Damned. This would remove Athena's Fortune's advantage and completely cut them off from the Sea of the Damned. The more durable and numerous undead would quickly sweep over the rest of their enemies, securing the outposts. The trading company representatives would be executed, like we can see in the Reaper's Lair, forced to roam the Sea of the Damned for eternity. Port Merrick would be turned into Flameheart's new seat of power, marking his redemption at the loss of Golden Sands. Flameheart's total victory would almost be secured, but Wanda the Warsmith and the Dark Brethren still stand a chance. They were last seen seeking the cure to the Skeleton Curse, and they'd previously planned on using it to secure them more followers. Those on the fence should likely join the Dark Brethren should Wanda be able to cure them. Flameheart would very likely know the location and seek to claim it for himself, since that is the only known weapon capable of defeating him. He would personally travel to secure it, along with his most loyal Reapers such as Humorous, the Voice of the Flame, and the Servant of the Flame. Flameheart and crew could easily clear the temple due to their knowledge and strength, beating Wanda and Amaranta to the cure. Flameheart would destroy the cure, and then he would use the Burning Blade to prevent Wanda and Amaranta from escaping, killing them both on the spot and wiping out the last of his enemies. Their mysterious captain would seek new allies to achieve his goal of ending the Sea of Thieves. So what happens now? Flameheart's first order of business would be chasing out the sovereigns and trading companies from the Sea of Thieves. Those who were not killed would have to flee. If this was from a gameplay perspective, all trading company voyages would cease to exist, However, I do think the gold hoarders would give up their maps and keys to save their lives. This would enable the Reaper's Bones full control over the gold in the Sea of Thieves, and those obsessed with gold would be warring for the keys. This would cause constant fighting between factions within the Reaper's Bones, with many partaking not for the keys, but for the thrill of battle. This is what Flameheart wants for the Sea of Thieves, a pirate paradise where only the strong live to prosper. While he would not be interested in gold, his want for riches leaving him long ago, he would use this as a test to prove himself as the strongest. This may be the case, or he could leave the Sea of Thieves to destroy the Grand Maritime Union once and for all, although this could go either way since Flameheart loves a good fight. Factions would form against Flameheart, headed by those who think themselves strong enough to take his place, but ultimately Flameheart still has power over life and death, wielding both the Burning Blade as a legendary ship and frightening sword, along with only granting access to the Skeleton Curse to those who are loyal to him. Others could still become cursed out in the world, but whether this is a boon or a hindrance greatly depends. Flameheart would likely use the Veil of the Ancients to obtain as much knowledge and artifacts of the Ancients as he could, including the Shroudbreaker and any of their ships. Ultimately, the game would play much the same, just with all the voyages removed and the PvP is the only activity, with players constantly fighting over the skeleton keys or just bringing the chests to the Seven of the Flame. The only hope for the status quo to change again would be the captain forming an alliance with the Grand Maritime Union, since they both want to see the end of piracy. Their best bet would be supporting one of the rival factions to Flameheart with supplies, ships and gold, but also would have to require the captain to obtain a weapon to undo Flameheart. With Flameheart having mastery over life and death, this would be a nigh on impossible task and will require the Burning Blade to be destroyed. The other hope would be capturing the Veil of the Ancients, but Flameheart would likely destroy it to avoid it being used against him. The Shroudbreaker is a better choice, since Flameheart would keep that for utility purposes. The biggest problem would be if Flameheart is already using the Shroudbreaker to break out into the wider world, since his plan was to do that before he was defeated the first time. This would result in Flameheart and his undead fleet as the most powerful empire, not only in the Sea of Thieves, but in the wider world. Flameheart's lust for conflict would consume the world and would only be sated if he was defeated. The end goal would just be a pirate Valhalla across the world instead of just the Sea of Thieves. And that's what I think would happen if Flameheart won. If you want to see more for this series, make sure to let me know what you want next. I think we'll dive into what would happen if the Pirate Lord won next. Make sure to subscribe for that.